Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of the Born Offside pod. Join myself, Kat and Olan as we dive into all things from Cristiano Ronaldo being a baby-making machine. They get pretty heated talking Reece James up against Alexander-Arnold. We dive into the sexuality in football, ooh, taboo. And then we answer all your questions that you sent in during the week. There were some crackers, so make sure you don't miss it. What's happening, guys? Welcome to another week of the Born Offside podcast. Your favourite midfield trio are back for another week. Yes, we got renewed. Yes, we are back to talk more things on the last line of defence to push the limits just a little bit as we talk football. Firstly, hello to you, Kat. Kicking off with Kat.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's your podcast as well.
It's your podcast.
That's my thing now, is to pretend that I'm a guest every week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That kind of works.
Yeah.
Good weekend of football for you, Liverpool fan. Dropped points to Brighton, but nonetheless, still all right.
Look, it could have been worse, but we should have won that.
Brighton are a top side.
Yeah, still
they are good.
It's still pretty bad.
Pretty glampy baller.
He is a baller.
He is.
One man with a smile from ear to ear. OLANTEKKERS. Olan, it's been a busy weekend for you between Love Island, Coogee Pavilion, and Chelsea winning comfortably 3-0. It was a good weekend.
Hey, it's a good weekend. We're busy here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just out here content creating.
Every night. You don't stop, do you?
You know what I'm saying? When people ask me, "Hey, Olan, what's your occupation?" I just tell them, man's a content creator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm out here, you know what I'm saying? Guys, thanks for supporting. If you're supporting, we love you, we appreciate you, and we keep moving forward.
That's it. I think episode 1 got a pretty good response. We got a fair few messages, and you actually, was it the A-League that commented on your video?
Yeah, A-League, I see you. You know what I'm saying? Get at us, and we can work through something. I mean, as long as the numbers are right and applicable, we can do something together.
Is that content or is that on the park, do you reckon?
Bit of both.
A bit of both. That's it.
They'll sort me out of a deal, surely.
Line up next to Danny Sturridge. Why not?
Yeah,
know.
Perth
You
Glory,
never
let's
know.
go.
Kat, was a good response as well. You were saying a fair few of your mates reached out saying...
Yeah, they were really happy with it.
had
And
good fun.
they thought, Claudes was the star, sorry.
Wow.
OLANTEKKERS.
Well, that's all right. Claudes, you take the shine. I'm just here to support.
Well, I've got the armband on.
Yeah.
Right, so I'll
He's
go
carrying
do
the team.
I'll go do the heavy lifting here, but you guys bring the flair. We're going to dive into it. Look, coming up on the episode, we are going to talk about some things that, can be taboo at times. We're going to talk a little bit about sexuality in football because that's been a big topic in Australian football, particularly in the last couple of weeks. We're going to talk right back something that OLANTEKKERS feels very passionate about. So does Kat, so I'm very excited for that.
ready.
And we're going to answer a lot of the audience questions because we've got plenty of them pouring in, more than I expected, which is really good to see. Keep those flying in. We're going to kick it off with our favourite segment, Onside or Offside. Just to reiterate, Olan, offside is bad.
Offside is bad. Correct.
If you don't like it, it's offside. Okay.
Onside is good. All right, got you.
I'm going to go to a question that we got in our Instagram DMs, actually, from T. I don't know.
Man like T. What you say, my brother?
T. I think that's his name. That's all he's disclosing. And he was asking whether footballers having fantasy Premier League sides
Oh, I love this question.
is onside or offside. Because it came out last week that Ben Foster, Watford goalkeeper, captain Salah, and Salah scored against him. Should that be allowed?
It's a bit like conflict of interest, surely. You're like, well, I've conceded goals, but my fantasy Premier League's doing all right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit conflict of interest,
So-
but I don't know what you think, Kat.
I think, look, I'm an avid FPL player myself.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I also know that Foster himself, he loves a bit of media. He has his own YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about his little incident with Salah himself.
Yeah.
And he said that at the end of the game, Salah had said to him, when he took a penalty, right?
Yeah.
And he said, or he was supposed to take a penalty. And he said, if I had kicked it, which way would you have dived?
Okay, yeah.
And Foster says, I would have dived to the right or whatever. And the interesting thing was that Foster commented how Salah is just that kind of player that even when it's the end of the game, he's still asking
wants to
those
improve.
questions. He still wants to improve.
I saw that video.
Yeah,
I love how Kat can turn a question about Foster into Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Just any excuse
I-
to
look,
Fans, man. What's wrong with you?
I was going to get there.
Any
I was going to get
excuse
there.
to bring
All
Mo
I'm
Salah.
saying is I think Foster's clearly a big fan of Salah.
Yeah.
To go off and make a YouTube video about him, come on.
Yeah, sure.
But it is a little
Low-key
offside.
dry snitching, though.
Yeah, look.
Because he's
You reckon?
telling people
Yeah,
how
he is a
Salah's
bit.
thinking a little
He is a
bit.
bit, he is a bit.
Low key. Foster,
But-
keep your mouth shut.
Offside, yes, because it really shouldn't be impacting the game itself.
No, and I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's playing for money. Well, he could be, but it's not like gambling.
No,
Gambling's
no.
a different thing.
This is just
This
fun.
is a bit of fun.
This is just, I mean, I take it very seriously.
Yeah.
But it is just fun. And I don't think he would have, let a goal in just for the sake of FPL. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You play a bit of fantasy football?
Nah, I tried to get it started, but just halfway through the season, I just don't give a crap. So I'm just like, nah, I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah.
Everyone asks me, but I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it.
Fair enough.
That's what people who don't do well at it say.
It's true.
Wow.
It's true. And you know what? It is always the first timers that win those fantasy leagues and they're piping up. And it's true. You overthink it. I'm not the best at fantasy either.
You do draft.
I'm struggling. I do fantasy draft.
Yeah,
I prefer that, but I'm struggling this year. I'm doing pretty rubbish. I want to move on to a man who stepped up when his team needed him, Cristiano Ronaldo, on the weekend, as he so often does. Cristiano.
Wow. Good moment.
So sad. You are so sad.
You're just sad that you missed the opportunity to join us.
I'm excluded from the group.
So Cristiano popped up, scored a cracking volley against Tottenham to add more misery. Great volley. Tekkers. OLANTEKKERS. Approve those Tekkers?
110%. 110%.
Well taken. I've asked him while he's
Sorry,
drinking.
that killed me.
Well taken. And then he set up the second as well for Edinson Cavani. Those two had a combined age of 70 years old and they tore Tottenham apart.
Age
Don't be ageist.
Don't mean nothing, right?
Means nothing.
Tottenham's backline with more holes than Swiss cheese. But what I wanted to talk about was CR7. And he's a baby making machine, right?
So
because
Georgina.
How many kids have you got now?
Well, he's just announced having. Well, he's not having, but Georgina's having twins, which will take it to six Ronaldo kids.
Wait, what do you mean he's not having?
As in he's not physically carrying them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant something else there. I was
It's just
wait a minute.
the beauty of being a man.
Yeah. So she's having twins.
She's having twins,
And they released that. And how's this, right? Like, even in his private life, he can't get away from the battle with Leo Messi because Messi had the most liked photo on Instagram from an athlete when he signed for PSG. And now Ronaldo's photo of the ultrasound of the twins has now passed Messi to be the most liked photo. So these two just can't stop competing.
Two goats, man. Both of them goats.
Two goats. Show them the respect they deserve. But what I want to talk about was the fact that he is this baby making machine, and there's been a lot of question marks around it because
6 kids. Now.
6 kids. He
That's
has
almost a full 11.
Yeah, but if you've got genes like that,
what he's doing is it's law of averages, isn't it? So it's like if I have 6 or 7 kids, one of them has got to be as good as me. You know what I mean?
Maybe
it's
he
law
wants
of averages, surely.
Maybe he wants a full starting 11.
Well, he did say once in an interview that he's going for 7 because CR7.
Oh no way! That's crazy. And imagine if like Messi's and Ronaldo's sons are like battling it out in the future. You know how crazy would that be?
Wouldn't that
The
be?
next gen. I love it.
that would be crazy.
I love it.
Wouldn't that be something? But so this is Georgina's having twins, right?
Yes.
And Georgina had another kid with Cristiano before.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about him is that he's always kept this really secret. So he's Cristiano Ronaldo Jr., which is his oldest. He's had, I think, back in 2010, 2011.
One that looks proper like him.
Yeah, looks proper like him.
Yeah.
He was with Irina Shayk at the time.
Yeah. The other woman, she was another
But she
model, right?
didn't
Who's
have
now
the
with
kid.
Bradley Cooper.
She's
now with Bradley
American
Cooper.
Sniper guy.
Yes, that's exactly right.
But Irina's not the mother.
No. So he was with her at the time, but he chose not to have a kid with her.
Oh.
Apparently, there's stories.
She's not the mother of.
She's not the mother of that one.
first born CR7 kid.
No.
CR7.
No. So CR77. So apparently,
CR77.
apparently, there's stories that say it was a one-night stand with an American waitress.
Yes.
There's also stories that say that he selected a surrogate that he doesn't want to disclose. And he hasn't told anyone. He's kept it completely secret. Now, what adds more to that is that his twins that he had after that were also from a selected surrogate mother in San Diego.
So man's out is selecting women to impregnate.
This is as clinical as his football.
Yeah.
So
So
that's a clinical, superb finish.
So what there's theories, right? Some theories are that like he could be trying to select the right genetics to create a genetic monster, which is like
That would not surprise me.
It wouldn't, right?
Would not
Not at
surprise
all.
me at all. Because
Yeah.
he's just he only thinks about his greatness, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't really surprise me. He's already thinking about the next and the next and the next, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wouldn't
Well,
surprise
this goes back to what I'm saying. If you have genes like that, you're that good of a footballer. Are you not just going to keep reproducing and just make sure that you're like spreading your
but I
seed
don't
far
think-
and wide?
I think it works like that.
Is that
I don't know
not?
how it works, but he's trying all avenues, you know. So one way better work for him, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know. He's
I don't know. Baby making Ronaldo onside or offside?
One side.
Onside.
yeah, it's
fair,
onside.
right?
Let him do what he needs to
Make
do.
as many. I mean, he's got the money to support them all, so why not? You know what? I was watching OLANTEKKERS TikTok, which if you haven't done, you should do because
Don't
he's
watch my
entertaining.
TikToks if you're a woman, though. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
entertaining.
Don't be sending me my TikToks, man.
Yeah, I wish I didn't.
Don't be doing all that.
He's entertaining, to say the least. You put one up about Reece James being better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, which I've been pinned for before, but Reece James has been fire in the last couple of weeks. He scored a double on the weekend.
Come on.
Kat, you're a Liverpool fan.
I am.
Reece James better than Trent?
No.
Why not?
If we're going off the performance this weekend.
No, just in general.
Okay, but I would agree Reece James, amazing. He's up there.
He's up there. Because people weren't even screaming he was top 2, top 3 before. Yeah. When I remember, because I was taking heat in my comment section. All you got that were coming at me in the TikToks, they were coming at me hard and heavy because I was mentioning them in the same conversation, and they were saying, oh no, only Chelsea fans mention them in the same conversation. I said, nah, Reece James is the real deal, and now people are starting to see it.
He's good. But he's always compared to Trent. It's not the other way around.
Yeah,
Trent, people
compare
to Trent because he's more, as holistically as a player, he's more established. Yeah. He's more creative.
The English manager didn't even select him for the squad.
Trent or James?
That's
Trent,
because
before the Euros.
Oh yeah.
Southgate doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, come on. That's offside, Kat. That's offside. Man took us to the final just saying man doesn't know what he's doing.
Did you, sorry, wait, who won?
Oh, okay. Ooh. Where were Egypt?
We're talking about England.
Now.
We're talking about England.
Okay, flipping it back onto me again.
Yeah. So back to Trent.
You know what I said, right? And this is my argument with this one. Trent is an incredible player, and there's no doubt that this season I think he's stepped it up, and he's gone to another level this season, bro. He's class. I think Reece James can walk into any team in world football and start and kill it. That means a team that's mid-table, bottom of the league, a team that's conceding possession, a counter-attacking team, a defensive-minded team.
He was in Wigan before.
Exactly. Trent fits that system because Liverpool are a dominant team. They get their wing-backs forward. But if you threw Trent in like an Inter Milan, which play a counter-attacking style of football, into an AC Milan, into a Dortmund, into a Barca at the moment, into any other I don't think he would fit like Reece James.
No, yeah, I'm 100% agreeing with you with that because I feel like he is one of the best on the ball, technically gifted fullbacks that this generation's probably seen. Yeah. But he gets away with it a lot. We know this because he's in that Liverpool team where he's very well protected by those around him. Salah's working back 90% of the time to help cover him, you know what I mean? Yeah. If he's in a United team where flipping Bruno and flipping whatever his name is not tracking back, is he getting exposed a bit more? Probably.
Okay. You're saying that what we need to remember is that we all view football through the lens at which we understand it.
Ooh.
Okay.
The philosopher.
Philosopher Kat. Go on then, Kat.
She's here.
Okay.
This is my theory on
I can
Trent.
see the vein coming out.
She's getting aggressive. She's starting to sweat. Hey, hold on, let me have a sip.
That what's that? Lebanese is coming out. Lebanese and Egyptian.
No, you don't want to see her.
Oh God, we don't want to see that side. Okay.
So we all understand football through the lens that we play it through. We've been taught that kind of thing. I genuinely believe Trent is the better player, and we all think, the way that Klopp forms things is like people are making up for him not being back, not being where he needs to be. But that's how Liverpool work. Their structure is there and it works for them. Yeah. We don't know what Trent would be like in another team.
Yeah, we're speaking the unknown. Yeah. It's fair enough. It's like when people used to say, oh, but Ronaldo's better than Messi because Messi hasn't done it in other countries. It's like you're speaking unknown.
Yeah, and we can say that Reece James would be amazing playing for all these sides, but the reality is he plays for Chelsea. He's doing a great job.
Top of the league.
Top of the league.
Okay.
Top of the league.
Nah, that's a good
Chelsea boys, we're top of the league.
Done.
You're not done. Okay.
She's still going.
I'll sit with this.
Okay.
Reece James, defensively. Trent Alexander-Arnold, offensively.
Okay.
Can we agree?
Yeah, we can agree with that. But he has bagged 3 goals in the last 2 games. But we'll see
I said we're not just talking about one game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with it because I've got to move it on.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to a topic that we said we're going to dive into today, which is a little bit touching on the sexuality in football, whether it's a thing, whether it should be a thing. Last week, massive news around the world, which I don't think anyone saw coming. Josh Cavallo, who plays for Adelaide United, is a young player, came out, released a video of him announcing that he is gay. And he is a footballer. When I saw that video, I was pretty shocked because I didn't think it was a big deal until I realized that he's the only actively gay, openly gay footballer in any top flight league around the world.
That's crazy.
Which is incredible, right?
Yeah, that's what my thought was. That exactly Claudes. I was like, what? Is there no one else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think it's a massive thing for the game and for others and for him. And I'm always an advocate for whoever's going to be yourself, you know what I mean? So if he's being himself and that's you, 100%, I have to rate it highly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's a step forward in the game
Yeah.
of football. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I mean, coming from a female perspective,
Yeah.
it's very normal to play in and around homosexual players. And the frustrating thing for me, almost having to see him come out like that so publicly,
Yeah.
it's like, we're in 2022. We're in 2021,
Exactly.
first of all. So
Yeah,
I got the
honestly.
date wrong.
just the 1 year off.
I'm living in the future.
It's FIFA 22 already, so
Yeah,
that's why.
sorry.
I'm
My head's in
confused,
FIFA,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah.
The point for me is just, it's a shame, that someone has to announce it so publicly. I've never had to stand up and say what my sexuality is in any of the work that I do. Does it actually impact the way that he plays in the game and anything like that? And I guess in the women's, for every step that it's behind the men's, it's far more progressive in the sense of sexuality and that openness, I suppose, or that acceptance around sexuality.
Well, it kind of showed like maybe how far behind sport is compared to other things. Because if a local musician, actor came out, whoever came out gay, like it wouldn't be a big deal. But in football or in sport, in men's sport, it's still a massive thing. So maybe we have a long way to go. But he came out, I think he's made a good decision, because I was thinking about this further and I thought, you know, Olan, like you said, you played in the women's game where it's very common. But Olan, you've played in the men's game many years around the world. It would be a tricky situation if you were gay and you hadn't told everyone publicly.
And this is what I was going to just shed a little bit of light on, because this is one of the reasons why I think it's so hard for maybe a gay person to come out, because of the culture of the change room, especially in England anyway.
Yeah.
And over here as well, is the culture is like almost that suspect jokes or kind of thing, like, oh, how you doing? Like, I'll slap your leg, or I'll grab your ass, or I'll have a towel and I'll whack it on Lino, or Jambo will come at me all naked or whatever. And it's all that kind of jokey kind of vibe in the change room. So if you were actually gay, it'd be very hard for you to be like, you know what I mean? So that's the only reason when I thought about it, I was like, geez, like, that is the reason why it's probably so hard, because of the culture of the change room. It's so loud, bantery, and that's how we're having jokes. And like, now, well, if I come out now, is everyone going to look at me different? Are they not going to?
Well, that's what I wanted to say. Like,
we're not going to bust jokes the same.
I've been in men's change rooms as well. I know exactly what it's like. But if you're playing in a team and then a couple players then come out with that information, does that change the way you act in the change room?
For me, no.
Okay.
For me, no.
So those jokes and everything, that will carry on.
That will carry on.
Yeah.
That will carry on. And I've got a good friend who I was speaking about it the other day. He's gay as well, and he said like he actually had that experience where he played locally or whatever. He came out as gay or whatever, and then like he found that like some of his teammates would like come at him a little bit differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a little bit judgy, and I was like, that's so sad. You know what I mean? That just because of how he is or what his sexuality, who he loves, that people are then changing their mindset. I see everyone the same, man.
Yeah. It shouldn't
When
have
you
anything to
look
do with it.
historically, though, you can understand why men especially have such trouble coming out while they're playing. You look at Justin Fashanu, who came out back in, I think it was 89 or 1990 or something like that. And it didn't end his career or anything, but it definitely impacted his career.
Yeah.
This was in the UK, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he ended up like committing suicide.
Really?
Because of allegations and stuff like that. And he just knew, oh, people know so much about me. I'm never going to get out of this. And I'm, you know, I don't know what the outcome would have been, but it's sad to know that this guy killed himself. And then in other codes here in Australia, you've got players who, NRL players who have come out, but never during their
While you're
career.
playing, yeah.
So Ian Roberts came out. He was a player for Manly and for South Sydney. I think he played Cowboys too. But he came out post. But he also said, during my career, my coach knew, my teammates knew, my family knew. Everyone around me was comfortable with it. But as soon as he came out, he got bashed.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Crazy
I
thing.
think the issue is like, you're talking culture, but there really is this kind of toxic masculinity that overshadows the sport, especially football.
True.
And it makes it just challenging for men to come out in that environment.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it as well, I think exactly what you just said. Like he in the video, he says about how he's had such an amazing response from his teammates, from his friends, from all that. Where I'm interested now is like media's been great too. I mean, I actually think, I'm not saying it's had anything to do with it, but I think it's going to be a fantastic decision for him as well to come out
from a marketing point of view.
That's what I was saying.
You know,
man
Look
might
at
get a
him.
little move to Barca or something.
you know what? Like, he's shot up his social media because obviously you had Gerard Piqué, you had the Premier League, you had,
and then people might just be, oh, who is he? Is he a decent player?
well, he went from, I think the boys in the office were tracking it. I think he went from about 20,000 followers to 140,000 in a couple of days.
Wow, I saw him at like 100K.
Yeah.
I think I saw him when A-League posted him, and he was like maybe like 10, 14, 14K around that.
Yeah,
Now
so
he's
he's
like 140.
140, right? So he's shot up. So it's going to open a lot of doors. And we always say about A-League footballers need to have more character, more personality about them. Some of them are a little bit boring.
Yeah.
This is great. This is a good step. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. What I was thinking about was the fans, though. And I think, what do you think is going to happen here? Because you know how away fans are. You've gone to watch football games.
Yeah.
In the UK, if this happens in the Prem,
there's
no filter, right?
no filter, there's no rules.
If you're a Spurs player, Spurs winger, left back, Reguilon, comes out gay, and then he's taking a throw in away at Arsenal.
They're gunning for him. I mean, they'll do racist stuff, homosexual stuff everything goes. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
The problem with football is so much more than like homophobia.
Yeah.
It's racism. It's misogyny. It's
That's
everything.
What I was thinking. Where do we draw the line, right? Because at the moment, and they're not doing a good enough job of it at the moment, but they are really trying to crack down in some countries on the racist slurs.
Yeah.
I know Juventus this season banned for life and took away a membership from one fan that said one racial slur during the game. Great. They're taking the right steps. Now, it's got to be the same for all forms of discrimination.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then does that mean just any sort of like, can you not say anything negative towards a player?
No, I'm not. No, not anything negative, but anything that is damaging that player cannot control. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Discrimination.
So where do we draw the line? I just want because I feel like it's going to end up like you can't abuse another player because I understand
that will always happen though.
But what can you abuse a player about? What is
sledging,
okay to say?
Sledging is an important part of sport.
It's part of the game. You're shit. Fuck you. That's part of the game.
You fat bastard.
Yeah, it's part of the
shit.
You lazy striker.
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale one. That was so funny.
That was really good.
He had a laugh about it, which is how you got to be. So kind of if you're getting slandered for being a shit player, that's okay.
Oh, that's fine.
So I think is that where we draw the line? You're allowed to slander someone for what they're doing, which is playing sport.
Yeah.
You're a shit player. You're terrible. You know?
That's fine.
That's
onside. But
that's well onside.
That is well onside. But when you go into
their private life,
things that they can't control, things about them, then that's a bit offside.
Like I always watch every time I'm watching Chelsea play, Marcus Alonso gets booed every time he touches the ball
because
of the whole car accident that he was involved in, and you know it's a terrible incident in his life. I'm sure it's very traumatic. Yeah. But he gets booed about it. People sing about it. People smash him for it, and he has to try and get on with the game. Like that's also private life. That's offside.
That's probably offside.
It's offside, but let's also just remember that they living a public life.
Yeah.
When you commit to becoming a professional in any industry,
like me, I got to go outside. I got to take pictures. You know what I'm saying?
OLANTEKKERS.
I'm at Kujipav. I'm taking pictures. I'm trying to get a drink.
Do you cop abuse?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for the haters to come. I'm like, this is a little bit too Gucci. Like, what's going on? Where the haters at? But yeah, man's taking pictures. Man's, you want a picture? Yeah, mate. No, 2 minutes. Just let me get a drink. No. Olan, picture now. All right, mate. Come in.
I lost my train of thought.
He's a superstar.
Yeah, I was so overwhelmed. Is that OLANTEKKERS?
Sorry, Kat.
But I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, you're going to cop haters eventually. If you are at that level.
But is it right? No.
No.
But is it going to happen? Yes. And I think coming out for Josh was accepting that that's going to come with that as well.
You mentioned, I wanted to bring this up and talk about it because I also admit that I'm not in a position to talk about this at all. Being a man and being openly heterosexual, then I'm not in a position to talk about this. But you mentioned about how the women's game is far more inclusive and it doesn't have that toxic masculinity. Where 2-3 weeks after Lisa Devanna came out and had some comments about grooming and literally the words were toxic culture within the higher levels of the women's game. I'm not in a position to comment on that. But as a woman that has played football all your life, do you think that is a valid point? Do you see evidence of this day to day? Where do you stand with that subject? Because that was an interesting one where, I mean, a lot of guys, I think we just kind of like stayed out of it. I didn't want to comment on it. Better not to comment.
You take the reins on this. You take the reins here, baby.
The change room culture that you talk about is just not something that I've experienced.
Okay.
And
Girls is a lot bitchy though, no?
Yeah, No, football girls are the nicest people I know.
Oh, I've heard different. With
Well,
some
what
girls.
clubs are you talking
I don't know.
to?
Some footy girls say there's all drama with this, that, and that. This girl doesn't like that girl, and that girl got different friend groups. I've heard a little bit of that drama.
OLANTEKKERS, somebody's lying to you.
Okay.
No, it's not that bad.
Okay.
In my experience.
Okay.
But once again, I can't speak for that. I just think that at least the level that I play at, I've never felt uncomfortable in a change room. And I've known that there are gay women in there at the same time. Sure, it means that I might not be as touchy-feely with them. I am like quite touchy-feely with my friends, and there's just things that you won't do. But I don't think it has a big impact on the sport, really. And maybe we're just so desensitized.
I'm interested to know your thoughts on like inter-team relationships.
Do what you need to do as long as it doesn't get in the way of the game.
Yeah, because
think?
that's where I think it gets a little bit.
I was thinking about that.
Because
Right?
it's like, what if you're with someone on the same team and like you're with her, right, or him or whatever, and like you guys are playing the same position. So, like, what happens then? Like, hey, you're left back and I'm left back, so like I'm gonna have to take you out. This is kill or be killed. You will not have a contract next season. Like, you will be at a different team. Like, that's when it gets a bit technical. I wonder how they manage that one.
That's true. If I was dating a centre back,
Yeah, and you're on the same team.
I'd be pulling some freaky stuff in the bedroom, trying to get him out for the weekend.
Exactly.
But
that's too
funny.
good.
But yeah, no, it would be tricky, and I think that's what I kind of thought about. Listening to Lisa Devanna's chat, and I thought, again, I have no opinion on the matter, but I was quite kind of surprised and quite shocked at how quick a lot of people who are involved in the women's game shut her out a little bit. Whereas I think she wasn't making anything up. She was just talking from personal experience, and I think personal experience always needs to be respected.
Absolutely,
because you never know what someone's personal
and
experience
you need to give it the time to really look into it and assess what could have actually taken place.
It's
because
just
people misinterpret things too, and things go wrong, and we've all said things that people could have taken the wrong way as well. And I'm definitely not trying to take from what she said, but the team did respond in a certain way.
Yeah. Well, it is a tricky one, and as you said, Olan, it would be tricky as well as a guy in a guy's team. You mentioned if you had a couple gay footballers, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
No.
But I could also imagine, from where Lisa's coming from, I could also imagine being a young man coming through, and then if I got to first grade and maybe majority of the team was homosexual and I wasn't, and then maybe a few of them were dating and they were in relationships, and you go on a team trip away and there's maybe stuff happening between players, that would maybe be daunting for me as a young player coming through.
Actually,
so I empathize, and I know people in my own friend group, in my own family, that stopped playing when they got to an older level, women, because they felt a little bit threatened by that, and that's sad too. So just as much as both sides, just as much as the men's game is quite
So it's
sad.
almost like the women's is like almost opposites in some aspects.
Yeah,
in some aspects,
Some aspects,
yeah,
isn't it?
Once again, it's down to your personal experience, and I just haven't seen that side of it. But as I reflect more on your question, it would be really quite odd. Actually, I don't think I would be comfortable with that.
Yeah. Look, either way, I think the biggest thing, like anything in life, not just football, but it's like, has it got anything to do with the game itself? And if it doesn't, then it's not important. It's not important who what you do in the bedroom should not be judged. And hopefully more players come out gay, because as you say, like, it doesn't affect your impact, your performance at all. So chances are there must be so many more gay footballers out there, gay athletes out there, and let's hope this kind of paves the way. It's good for the A-League. We're actually paving the way in something.
We put the A-League on the map.
We might not.
On the map. Everyone knows Adelaide now. You know what I mean? I didn't even know that town existed.
The city of churches. I want to talk about it's question time. So we put out to some of our fans, whoever listened to the podcast last week, we said, ask us questions for next week. What do you guys want to know? We already had one earlier in the app. This one was from Dom on Instagram. He actually also tried to call us as well.
Like Dom.
Like Dom. Dom tried to
belling us up in that.
Yeah, you can't be
call
calling
at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
What
are you doing, cuz?
Not during Olan's live stream of Love Island.
Come on, bro.
I'm pretty sure that's when it was. His question was actually about the Premier League. It was about Man United at the moment. It was a very good question. Would Jose Mourinho do a better job than Ole with his current squad?
Could most people do a better job than Ole with this current squad?
Shots fired.
Come on, United on paper is spectacular.
Yeah.
But what the hell is going
I heard
on?
a hot take the other day. I think it was from Sharky in the UK. I was listening to him. So he basically said that the team that Ole was given, basically said that he didn't want Ronaldo. Like Oli had like his team sorted,
Yeah.
and like who he wanted, how they were performing, what the system that he was going to play, and the board have just given him Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, there's
that's-
worse players to get.
There's
given.
worse players to get, but I'm saying like if you had a time, a system, or whatever,
Yeah.
like people said, would Klopp take Ronaldo right now? No, because he doesn't
There's
fit
no
into the
space
system.
for him.
He doesn't fit into the system. So
Yeah.
it's like he took on Ronaldo, but did United actually need Ronaldo? So it's like
They did on the weekend.
They did on the weekend.
He's popped up for him,
But
hasn't
it's like, is he in control of things that are going on there?
Probably not.
Probably not. So Alex is probably managing behind closed doors.
Whereas Jose wouldn't let that happen, right?
Jose would not
Jose
let that
would
happen.
not let that
I
happen.
think you're right. Maybe.
I think Jose would do a better job. I mean, he won a Europa League there.
He's aging. He's past his prime.
Yeah.
But
Man's posting photos of
His
himself
Instagram is-
eating food
Yeah.
Instagram
on
is
the ground.
yeah, he's living life.
You know,
man.
I do like.
doesn't
I
give-
love that he just doesn't give a shit.
He's just such a character.
We need more people who don't
He's
give
such,
a
he's
shit.
such a character. I love him.
Yeah.
I prefer not to speak. I prefer not to speak.
I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Another question was on our YouTube from Fireblaze.
Man, like
Wanted to know, it was a pretty broad question, so I'm going to try and narrow this one down. But he wanted to know the best youngsters in the world. So what I want to say is like
Ooh.
young talent, let's say under 21, 22, who's the best in the world, young talent. One word answer, OLANTEKKERS.
Best in the world. The thing is, I'll be honest. I don't really look at young talent like that because for me, you can be a young talent and then when you're 21, 22, no one knows who the hell you are.
You haven't made it yet.
You haven't made it yet. So I'm always like, whenever I see a young player coming through, I'm like, bro, they haven't. You've not done anything.
Nothing yet. Yeah.
But for me, how old is Mason Greenwood?
He's still a teenager, isn't he?
Still a teenager.
I think he's like 18 or 19.
19.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to go best young. I'm not going Saka, so shut up, Arsenal fans. Right? I'm going to go Mason Greenwood. Billy Gilmore. How old is Billy Gilmore? I might have to stick with Chelsea there.
Billy Gilmore. Really? Best youngster in the world?
Do you see what he did against Liverpool that one time?
Yeah, he's
to
a baller.
Fabinho?
He's a baller.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
But now I'm probably going to go prediction-wise. I'm going to be at the top of the game for a long, long time. I think Mason Greenwood.
Kat?
I'm going to say, because I've been keeping a close eye on him and I love how he plays, and Liverpool are very interested in signing him.
I know you're going to say.
Jude Bellingham.
Jude Bellingham, yeah.
Oh, Jude's a baller.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
He's a star.
He is a baller.
He's another one for me that I'm not going to get too excited about.
Girls are obsessed with him
really?
as well.
Girls are obsessed with him. Yeah.
Look,
I hate that,
I'm
man. Like, good-looking guy, young, top of the game.
Yeah.
Damn it. Should have been me.
It's just not fair, is it?
It's not fair.
I'm a bit
Good
old
genes
for
as
him,
well.
but he is
You see his
cute.
brother as well?
No.
His brother's like 17 or like a couple years younger than him
Yeah.
and starting for Birmingham.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
In the champ or something like that. Like he's made first team appearance. Like what kind of
Well,
why was I not
they're
blessed
a
with these
Birmingham
genes?
family,
Yeah.
like they're just
God.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham,
That's
that's
a
a
shout.
Yeah, I
That's a
like
shout,
him.
Kat.
I'm going to go for his teammate. He's 21, but I'm going to say Erling Haaland. I know he's like almost not a young prodigy anymore. But
I feel like everybody can just agree on that one.
I'm saying Haaland because I think when you mentioned he'll be here for many years to come, just
Yeah.
the size, the frame of him, I think
Yeah.
15
He was-
years
he
from
was
now, we're still going to be talking about him.
sculpted by Zeus. Like look at
Yeah.
the stuff, the frame,
Yeah.
everything that he has is just like he was built to just do what he does.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a beast, and I think he'll be moving away probably next
I
summer.
love to see him in the Premier.
Where's his next signing, guys? Where do you reckon he's going?
Depends on if City sign Kane. If City don't sign Kane, I think he could go to Man City.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, because City technically don't really have a striker right now, do
No, they don't.
they? Yeah, playing Jesus, yeah.
I think it's Kane or Haaland that'll
Love
replace
it.
Sergio Aguero. Either way, they're in good hands. They're
They
a phenomenal
really
team.
are.
Last question came in from Billy.
Man, like Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Billy Boy on Instagram says, well, he's just assumed something here. He said, Premier League's the best league in the world.
I love
but
you, Billy.
What would you say is number 2? Now,
I'm gonna.
is the Premier League the best league in the world?
I don't know if it's the best league in the world. I think it's the most watched league in the world. Therefore, the most hype. Therefore, people think it's the best league in the world.
That's big from an Englishman, man.
That's
I
what
respect
I
Yeah.
think. But I think. But is it still the best league in the world? Yes. But I think close. I think a second is the Bundesliga.
Really?
Yeah.
My theory on that, Bundesliga is actually just they're great at scouting talent, and then the other leagues take that talent.
Yeah, that's a shout.
So, would you agree Bundesliga second best league?
I agree the talent in
Best
Bundesliga
youngest-
is
best
amazing,
young
but I
talent,
don't
right?
actually think that.
Because everyone like a lot of people that come to Prem, young talent come from Bundesliga.
Exactly.
The thing with the Bundesliga is it's super exciting, it's fast paced, and the fans are
Oh,
Amazing,
the
yeah.
the
The
passion.
fans are
Those
awesome.
Dortmund fans.
But Bayern Munich win it every year.
Yeah, that's what I
And
mean.
for me, you can't be a great league if the same team wins it every year.
True.
That's my only
For me,
Yeah, but everyone
right now,
goes to Bayern though. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
annoying.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like these guys are developing the best players just to sell them to the Bayern. Like,
I
it's
know.
like, you want them yet? Nah, give it a year.
Give it another year.
All right, have them now.
they call it Farmers League. It's just business league.
Yeah, literally. So that is very true.
For me, I love Serie A.
Yeah.
The talent as well.
Yeah.
And also what I love about it right now is it's not unpredictable as such. It's not like La Liga, right? But you do see a nice kind of cycle in who's up the top.
There's no doubt Serie A is the best history league in the world.
Yeah.
Like, in England you've got
Yeah.
United, Liverpool,
Yeah.
Chelsea, decent history, City, short history but decent. You know, you've got big clubs. But in Italy, the clubs are massive.
Yeah, I love it.
AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Fiorentina, Napoli, Maradona era. There's
So
Roma,
cool.
Lazio. The teams are big.
Yeah.
So I would say Italian
Yeah.
Serie A is second, especially now that Juventus has fallen. That's
Yeah.
finally cemented them as a top 2 league in the
Made
world.
it spicy.
Because it's better. Because they had the same problem as Germany. It's just Juve winning it every year. It was
Yeah.
Juve league. It was shit. Now that Juve's fallen, you don't know who's going to win it.
Yeah.
Inter won last year. They won't win it this year. Take my word. Inter won't win it this year.
Really? Who do you
Go
think will win?
Napoli.
Well, Milan and Napoli are clear at the top
It's
at the
Napoli,
moment.
man.
Hopefully Napoli win it the year after Maradona passed. Can you imagine? Be
Yeah.
huge.
His spirit is
exactly.
guiding them around that pitch.
So yeah, well, he passed, and then Argentina finally win Copa America. Now imagine Napoli win the Serie A as well.
Oh,
That is spooky.
that's
know,
a conspiracy right
That
there.
is a conspiracy and a half.
You know, we were talking about the metaverse.
Higher
just
powers
We
and
really
them ones
were.
there. Yeah, higher powers.
That's
thing,
it.
man.
That's it. Exactly right.
God is actually Maradona.
But it's actually Maradona.
There is a church of Maradona.
That I'm
In
not
South America,
surprised at
yeah.
all.
That's weird.
That's not surprising either.
No.
They're insane over there.
No.
And it was his birthday actually last week.
Really?
This should just
What
be
is
the
his birthday?
Maradona episode.
That's
I love
it.
him. I was wearing a Maradona shirt last week on
yes.
episode 1. If you didn't see that, check that one out. But little plug. Yeah, look, I think that's probably all we got time for. We want to keep it nice and snappy so people can enjoy this on the way to work or wherever you get your podcasts.
Can we end with like the one word for the podcast again?
One word?
Cat needs to run through it again.
Well, let's say
You're going first this
Let's
time.
say hold on. Let's say we've got some big weeks coming up.
Yeah.
And you're with Stan Sport. You're doing some Champions League
Yeah.
football. I'll be with Optus doing some football. So what I'm going to say is one word to describe your week coming up. Cat.
Ooh. Spicy.
That's better. That's better than what you said last week.
Spicy.
No, it
Still
doesn't
shit?
Are we
come with
having
an
that?
explanation.
Are we having that? Spicy?
I know you worked at a Mexican restaurant.
Spicy.
I was actually just planning on putting
All right,
hot
since
sauce on
we're
every
doing
meal.
that, I'm going to go seasoned.
Oh.
Yeah, because man's seasoned with flavors and that.
That's fair play. I'm going to go tasty.
Guys,
I'm going to tasty. We're going up.
Cat, you led it down this path. This is where we're going
all
now.
I'm saying is tasty, exciting.
Exciting was bad last week.
A little step up. Cat,
This
a
is
little bit.
this is my chance to plug what's going on, guys. Yeah, Born Offside Podcast. Thanks. It's only our second week, and we've got plenty more coming. And as A-leagues start to roll around, Australian football starts to pick up again. You best believe we're going to have some guests here on the couch. We're going to dive into all that. So get your questions
Yeah.
in. They were awesome this week, guys. Thanks for those. Send more in. What do you want us to chat about? We dove into some big hot topics in Australian football this week. We're always open to anything. And any guests that you want to see on here.
Please.
Olan, Kat,
Yeah.
thanks for joining me again. Any final parting words?
Yeah, make sure you tune into the Love Island thing, you get me?
How long left on Love Island?
I think there's like one or two more weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be getting a lot of the people that come off Love Island on the Twitch, so it's going to be banter.
It's a good break from football.
Yeah.
Love Island. You double in a bit of Love Island?
No,
You applied to go on, didn't you?
I watch your streams sometimes.
Oh,
They're a bit
are you-
funny.
Are they?
Yeah, they're all
You
right.
can continue to plug me, Cat. That's absolutely fine.
They're funny if you want to laugh at him.
Oh, I mean, wow. That's fine. I'll take that.
Shit. Okay. Nonetheless, we've probably gone too far now. Thanks,
You
guys,
just-
for joining
anyway.
us. And I'm going to cut it there. We'll see you next week for some more Born Offside podcast.
See you next week, guys.